The sun dipped low over the horizon, painting the sky in strokes of fiery orange and deep purple, as Elena wandered through the resort's lush gardens. She had come here to escape the relentless pace of city life, seeking solace in the whisper of palm fronds and the distant crash of waves. Her bare feet padded softly against the warm stone path, leading her to the infinity pool that seemed to merge seamlessly with the endless ocean beyond. The water shimmered like liquid glass, inviting her closer. She slipped out of her sundress, letting it pool at her feet, and eased into the cool embrace of the pool. As she floated on her back, staring up at the fading light, a sense of timeless peace washed over her. Minutes blurred into what felt like hours, the world narrowing to the gentle lap of water against her skin. Then, from the corner of her eye, she noticed him, a man emerging from the shadowed cabana, his silhouette strong and unhurried. He paused at the edge, his gaze locking onto the horizon, unaware of her presence. Something in his quiet confidence stirred the air, and Elena felt the first ripple of curiosity in her otherwise still heart. Alex had arrived at the resort on a whim, fleeing the echoes of a life that no longer fit. The boardroom battles and late-night deadlines had left him hollow, craving a reset he couldn't quite define. The infinity pool called to him like a siren's song, its edge vanishing into the sea, promising oblivion. He stripped down to his swim trunks, the evening air cool against his sun-kissed skin, and dove in with a clean arc that barely disturbed the surface. Underwater, time suspended, bubbles trailed upward like forgotten dreams. Surfacing, he shook the water from his dark hair and let his body drift. That's when he saw her, a woman with hair like burnished copper fanned out around her head, her eyes reflecting the twilight sky. She wasn't posing or seeking attention. She simply existed there, a vision of serene beauty amid the vast blue. Their eyes met across the water, and in that instant, the pool's illusion deepened. The waves stilled, the breeze hushed, as if the universe itself held its breath. Alex felt a pull, magnetic and undeniable, drawing him closer without a single stroke. Elena's heart quickened as he swam toward her, his movements fluid and purposeful, cutting through the water like he belonged to it. She could see the faint scar along his jawline, a story etched in skin, and the way his shoulders flexed with each pull. Up close, his eyes were a stormy gray, holding depths she wanted to explore. "Mind if I join you?" he asked, his voice low and warm, carrying the faint lilt of somewhere far from here. She smiled, a small curve of her lips that belied the flutter in her chest. "The pool's big enough for secrets," she replied, surprising herself with the playfulness in her tone. He chuckled, a sound that resonated through the water, and settled beside her, their arms brushing accidentally, or was it? They floated in companionable silence at first, the infinity edge making it feel like they teetered on the brink of the world. Conversation came in fits and starts, her love for hidden beaches, his passion for stargazing on clear nights. With each shared word, the sunset bled into dusk, stars pricking the velvet sky, and Elena realized hours had slipped away unnoticed. Time, that relentless thief, had paused in their shared orbit. As the night deepened, Alex suggested they move to the pool's edge, where underwater lights cast ethereal glows upward, turning the water into a mosaic of sapphire and gold. They perched on the lip, legs dangling into the depths, the ocean's murmur a constant underscore. Elena traced patterns in the condensation on a nearby glass of chilled wine he'd fetched from the bar, her fingers lingering on the cool surface. He watched her, not with hunger, but with a quiet wonder, as if she were a rare comet streaking across his sky. "What brings you to a place like this?" he ventured, his question hanging like mist. She hesitated, then poured out fragments of her unraveling marriage, the way love had curdled into routine. He listened without interruption, his presence a balm. In turn, he confessed his corporate exile, the fear of waking up one day to a life unlived. Their vulnerabilities intertwined like vines, strengthening rather than exposing. Laughter bubbled up unexpectedly when she mimicked her ex's absurd golf swing, and he countered with a tale of a disastrous skydiving attempt. The clock on the distant lounge read midnight, but it meant nothing. Their world had contracted to this ledge, this pool, this man whose hand now rested lightly on hers. Emboldened by the wine and the stars, Elena slid back into the water, challenging him to a race to the far end. Though with the infinity design, there was no true far end, just endless possibility. He followed, their splashes echoing like shared secrets. They collided midway, bodies tangling in a breathless tangle of limbs and laughter. His hands steadied her waist, and for a heartbeat, the contact lingered, electric.